Can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So, as I have mentioned in the CMTFE class, I have received the answer scripts for your gas turbine and jet propulsion quite late, means very recently. So I have not yet graded the answer sheets. Most probably by next week I will finish and share the marks with you. Okay, and discuss the question answers at that time also. For the, I think I have given a few problems and a few short questions and diagrams. So we will discuss at that time once I finish the grading. How was your exam?
Great, sir. Fine, sir.
One question was slightly tricky. I had deliberately given slightly tough question for one of the questions,
Good question.
but other questions were easy. One of the problems was slightly tricky, uh, not very difficult, only slightly tricky. So anyway, let us come back to this. Let me see what were the questions. Anyway, we'll discuss this again later next week. Question 3 was slightly tricky, not difficult at all. If you go in the correct way.
Turbine inlet.
Okay, excuse me. So I was saying that question 3 was slightly tricky. I hope you can still hear me. Other questions were easy, very easy, means just standard questions directly from the book or from the notes. So let us go quickly through what we were discussing. Okay. I hope you can still hear me. Can someone confirm?
Sir, connection is very poor.
Connection is very poor.
Yes, sir.
How is the
I'm
connection
getting a
now?
lot of problems.
Okay, sir. No.
Let me disconnect and connect again. Disconnect and connect again. Can you hear me now? I have connected through my mobile internet. I hope this will be better as compared to the faculty quarter one. Generally, this is better. Can someone confirm?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
This is better, sir.
So please let me know if again connection becomes yeah. So I was telling that only one of the question was slightly tricky. Question 3. Other questions were very easy, just standard from the what was the taught in the class. Okay. We will discuss when we discuss about the after the grading is done. So anyway, so what we have done till now is that we have gone through industrial gas turbines in very much details. Means the thermodynamics of industrial gas turbines, different type of cycles, and a lot of different type of cycles we have studied. In total 8 cycles, if you remember, means through different combinations. So the main differences were one was simple Brayton cycle, then Brayton cycle with regeneration, then Brayton cycle with reheat, Brayton cycle with reheat and regeneration. Then all these 4 cycles again with the addition of intercooler. Okay, so 18 total, and ideal cycles we studied. We derived some expression for the 2 important parameters. What are the 2 important parameters? The efficiency and the net specific work output. Okay. Then we went into what are the differences between ideal and real cycles, and there we studied that there are 7 to 8 major differences, such as the isentropic nature of the compression or expansion in the turbine is lost. Then there are pressure losses. So similarly, air fuel ratio has to be taken into account. So all these things we studied, and we solved one problem, and I have given a few problems based on this to you in the assignment also. There are other problems in the books also. So we will conclude this section today, and from the next class we will start jet engines, discussing about jet engines, the construction of jet engines as well as thermodynamics of jet engines. And we'll start with the major differences in jet engines. We will see that the main differences in jet engines are what are the main difference in jet engine as compared to industrial gas turbines from thermodynamics point of view.
Requirement is not output. Our requirement is thrust.
That is one good point. Yes. Then from the point of view of calculation, what will be the main difference?
Sir, ambient condition will be continuously varying because this will be
That
used
is
in
true. Yes, that is true, but that we will not take into account in this course because that is too difficult to calculate using simple, say, problems. So that is a very good point, but that needs to be done using by writing some code to where the input condition is varied continuously. But related point is that the ambient, the velocity at the inlet of the turbine, sorry, at the inlet of the total system, means at the inlet of the compressor is very high because it is flying at very large speed for most of the duration. So kinetic energy needs to be taken into account because due to the high velocity, the velocity can be reduced in a diffuser to increase the pressure. So some additional compression is obtained only because of the velocity. We have discussed in the first 1 or 2 classes that for ramjet engines, no compressor is required at all. Means the entire compression is done because of very high velocity in a diffuser. So that additional thing. So in normal jet engines like turbojet or turbofan, diffuser and compressor both will be there. So that needs to be taken into account. And the third major difference is that the turbine work output is turbine is designed in such a way so that all the turbine only supplies enough work just for running the compressor. Okay. Rest of the energy in the combustion products are retained by the combustion products, which are then expanded in the nozzle to generate thrust. Okay. So turbines are smaller in design because they don't need to create additional work for running the generator or power generation. They are just sufficiently large just to run the compressor. Only role of the turbine is to run the compressor. Anyway, we will discuss these things in the next class, starting with turbojet and diffuser. As I said, I am not feeling too well today, so we will just have a very short discussion on just concluding the previous part. Okay. So what we did in the last class before the exam is we had solved one problem. Why I am coming back to this problem, I will tell you. So where we had an industrial gas turbine, because we are studying obviously industrial gas turbines, with certain conditions. Okay, some ambient pressure PA equal to 1 atmospheric pressure. Ambient temperature is 15 degrees centigrade to 88 Kelvin. This pressure ratio was given to us as 9. Maximum, all these different efficiencies were given: compressor efficiency, combustion efficiency, then turbine efficiency. There were two turbines, so two turbine efficiency. Then calorific value of the fuel was given. Some additional data was given. What is the outlet pressure of the low pressure turbine? Okay, and it was given that pressure loss is 0. Means it's not given, but we assume that pressure loss is 0. And we needed to calculate the fuel air ratio, specific work output, efficiency, and specific fuel consumption. Okay. So this type of calculation, okay, this type of calculation is known as design point calculation. And why it is called design point calculation? Because you are specifically designing for a certain set of parameters, for a certain point in your say performance characteristic graph. So this entire calculation will just give you the value of efficiency. So what are the most important parameters? Efficiency and specific work output, specific power or specific work output. So this entire set of calculation will just give you a set of points in your graph for efficiency versus say compression ratio, compressor pressure ratio, and specific work output versus compressor pressure ratio. Okay, so this entire calculation is for a particular point in the performance characteristic curves. Okay, so that's why these are known as design point calculation. Why design? Because you are designing the system with certain design parameters. What are the design parameters? What are the parameters that the designer gives or designer inputs? Okay, so so when you are designing a gas turbine, there are a certain set of parameters which is in your hand, which you can provide based on previous experience of constants like say material properties or say physical space constant or weight constraint. Then there are certain parameters which are not in your hand, which depends on other conditions such as ambient temperature and pressure. And then there are a certain set of other parameters which are also not in your hand, which depends on other processes like manufacturing processes. For example, the efficiencies. Then some other parameters such as calorific value, which are not in your hand. Okay. So when a designer designs this at the very basic level, just by say some simple what are the input parameters that he has under control or he needs to provide for the calculation. There are two important input parameters we have previously discussed also. One is the pressure ratio, second is the turbine inlet temperature. Okay, pressure ratio and turbine inlet temperature, and as a result you will see, if you go back to the curves that we have discussed, excuse me, if
Sir, you are not audible.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Internet connection got dropped. It's too much difficult like this. I'm using my mobile connection. Faculty quarter connection is very poor. So I hope it is still recording. let us try to continue. Okay. Sorry for the delay. This interruption center flow is lost. So what I was discussing, up to what point did you hear? I was discussing about the conditions that are in the hand of the designer, means turbine inlet temperature and the compressor pressure ratio. Did you hear these points?
Yes, sir. Up
Yes,
to
sir.
the point you are discussing that turbine inlet temperature.
Okay, up to that point only. So yes, so what we were discussing is that certain set of parameters are there which is decided by the designer depending on other things like previous experience or turbine materials. So these parameters, mainly we have seen two parameters, right? One is the pressure ratio, second is the turbine inlet temperature. Where we have seen these two parameters when we analyzed ideal cycles. Okay, There we have seen how these parameters affect the efficiency and specific work output. I have shown also MATLAB plots, and you have also drawn some MATLAB plots for similar type of results. Okay, and so these two are called design parameters. Okay, so as a result, this calculation, this entire set of calculation is known as design point calculation. Okay. Apart from these two parameters, now the pressure ratio is not denoted by pressure ratio. It is denoted by compressor pressure ratio. Why? Because there is pressure loss. The turbine pressure ratio will be always less than the compressor pressure ratio in real life, right? Because there is pressure loss in the regenerator or in the combustion chamber. Ultimately, the pressure ratio you get across the turbine is less than that across the compressor. So the input pressure ratio is the given parameter, means compressor pressure ratio, and turbine inlet temperature obviously is the given parameter. So these two RC and Tmax are the given parameters. The ambient parameters are the pressure and temperature. So they can be increased or decreased. So this also plays a very important role. Okay, and all the other parameters are say calculation parameters such as the efficiency of different components, then calorific value of the fuel, okay, things like that. So after you do this entire set of calculation, you just get one data point. Where one data point? One data point for your plot for efficiency versus RC at a particular value of T. T means, if you remember, T is the temperature ratio. T max by inlet temperature means minimum temperature, which is equal to the inlet temperature. T max by T1 or T3 by T1, like that we had put. So one particular point you get in your efficiency curve and one particular point you get in your specific work output curve. Okay. So after your design point calculation. Now if you repeat the calculation by changing any one of the parameters, say you change the RC from 9 to 9.5, you get another data point, and then you make RC equal to 10, you get another data point. Like this, once you join all the lines, you get the performance characteristics for efficiency and specific work output. Okay, that is what we have done in our coding also, and that is how it is calculated, but with a lot of other variables such as all the different efficiencies, ambient conditions also plays a very important role. All the things become very important. And if you want to check the effect of these parameters, you can change the pressure ratio, then the like not the pressure ratio, sorry, you can check the efficiency, change the efficiency by keeping everything else constant, and can see the effect of compressor efficiency. Similarly, you can see the effect of turbine efficiency, things like that. Okay, so because there are so many parameters which can be changed, ultimately the set of variations can be huge, and we cannot just discuss them verbally or theoretically. There is so much there is so much combined effect of the different parameters. In general, we can draw some major conclusions as we will do in today's class. But what we can do is we can do these design point calculations repeatedly by changing the value of compressor pressure ratio and inlet temperature, means the temperature ratio, and see how the performance curve looks like and how it is different from ideal cycles. Okay, how it is different from performance curve of ideal cycles. Let us try to do that. Okay, so I will show for one or two cases because there are so many. I will show for uh, simple Brayton cycle with all this like simple real Brayton cycle with all this and then once I will also show the case for simple Brayton cycle with regeneration, again with all the losses and efficiencies, things like that. Okay, so let me show you a couple of programs and you can also write similar programs for your case. Okay, just let me start the hold on a second. Okay, so then I will summarize what we are observing. Okay, this is how the calculation looks like typically. Again, because we have already done one assignment, and I have seen also for many of you how you have done the assignment. Same thing. So what we will do is we will do a design point calculation first. Okay, we will do a design point calculation first. My layout has got changed. How to bring it to the shell condition? Any questions meanwhile on this first part of the topic? We are lagging behind seriously in the syllabus as compared to previous years. Most probably because of lack of number of means shorter duration of the semester. Otherwise, by this point we would have finished turbofan engine also or turboprop engine. But I don't feel that we are going slowly. Means every year we go at this pace only. So it seems that where is the view? Like this. How can I go back to the default layout? Does anyone know? Where is the in this version, previous version, there was something called default view. Anyone who is using MATLAB currently? Here, huh? This is
It's somewhere in
where?
the home tab, sir. In home
Haha.
tab, there's an option of layout.
I have
And
found it. I
there you,
have found it. Here's my. Where is the previous command history that I am not able to find? I think there is huge lag or what? Because already I have. Are you hearing my voice? So I'm now moving my mouse pointer. Are you hearing after a lot of time?
Sir, voice is okay, sir. But the video, are you showing MATLAB or are you showing the PDF, sir?
I am showing MATLAB, but for a
Sir,
long time.
I'm seeing PDF only.
You
Just
guys
leave
are.
it.
I am now closing MATLAB. Now I am showing PDF. Now again I am opening MATLAB. So can you? Is it occurring at the same time when I am showing?
Sir, I'm not seeing MATLAB at all.
Yes, sir.
No.
About 5 seconds to
Yes, sir.
I will reshare for those who are not seeing. Okay.
Sir, it is visible, sir.
But maybe for some students. Well, MATLAB, can everyone see?
Yes, sir.
Seeing MATLAB is very important. Sanjay, you are asking the question? Who was there?
It was
Who
me.
was not?
I think it might.
Can you see MATLAB now?
No, Hillary can.
So I want to show a lot of graphs and plots. So if somebody is not able to see, it will be problem. That's why please let me know. Okay, it is important to be able to see MATLAB. Is there anyone who is not able to see MATLAB? I guess everyone is able to see. Okay, fine. So let us take a look at the design point calculation, like what we have done in the previous class. Okay. Let me go through some of the values. We will start with a small compressor pressure ratio R equal to 4. gamma of the, so I hope you can see the values because it is my resolution is high. Maybe it looks very small in your laptop, or if you are using a mobile, it will be difficult to read. My monitor resolution is high. So R equal to 4, gamma of air is 1.4, efficiency of compressor is 85%, efficiency of turbine is 87%. Mechanical, what is mechanical efficiency? It is denotes how much work gets transmitted from the turbine to the compressor. It is 99% typically, very high value. Combustion efficiency also we have discussed is typically very high value. So here we have put it as 98%. Gamma of the gas, means of the hot gases, combustion products, is 1.333, which we generally take in for real cycles, as we have discussed previously. CP of air 1.005. This also we have discussed previously. That CP of gas is generally we take as 1.148 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Okay, both of them. So these parameters are fixed parameters except R. Okay, R is the designer parameter. T01 and P01 are the inlet ambient condition. T01 is the inlet temperature 288 Kelvin. P01 is 1 bar, 1 atmospheric pressure, inlet pressure. Pressure losses also we are defining. So it's for a regeneration cycle. Okay, we want to study a simple cycle and a regeneration cycle. So for a regeneration cycle, when regeneration is present, there is pressure loss in the in both the sides of the regenerator. If you remember the regenerator, we have one side through which air flows and the other side through which the hot gases flow, exhaust gases. In the air side, generally the pressure losses are given in terms of outlet pressure of the compressor. Okay, so outlet pressure of compressor is compressor pressure ratio into P01, means P02 is R into P01. So compressor pressure ratio into P01 into 3% pressure loss. So 3% pressure loss is happening. Generator air side. Regenerator gas side, yes, any problem? Please switch off your mic if you don't have a question. Please switch off your mic. On the regenerator gas side, it is directly given that pressure loss is 0.04 bar, 0.04 atmospheric pressure. Okay. And pressure loss in the combustion chamber is given as 2% of the compressor outlet pressure. Compressor outlet pressure again is R into P01, so 2% of that. Okay. Regenerator effectiveness is 80%. So all these are parameters, right? All these are parameters which needs to be taken into account. Calorific value of the fuel is 43,100 kilojoule per kg. Okay. So these are all the input parameters for our design point calculation. Means I can give this type of problem also to do by hand. Means if I give these problems and ask you to find the efficiency and work output, you will be able to do using the calculations you have done. Same thing is given here. Okay. So I just need to follow the same sequence as we do in calculation. So what we do is we first calculate the temperature ratio based on the maximum temperature. So here I have not separately specified the maximum temperature. We are taking it to be 1100 Kelvin and inlet temperature is 288, and then go through all the steps. What are the steps? First we find out the compressor outlet temperature based on the compressor efficiency, means real outlet temperature of the compressor. Then turbine inlet temperature already we have given, but if T is given, we can find out in this way. Okay, why I have written in this way? Because in many cases T will be the parameter which will be varied. Then all the pressures we can find out, pressure after the combustion process, so which is equal to the outlet regenerator air side pressure loss minus combustion pressure loss. So this is the turbine inlet pressure. What is the turbine outlet pressure? It is the atmospheric pressure plus the pressure loss in the regenerator gas side. Okay. So the turbine outlet occurs at a higher pressure, then there is pressure loss in the regenerator, and ultimately the flow goes out at atmospheric condition. And turbine outlet temperature can be also calculated in a similar way, okay, based on the efficiencies. And then I have ignored the air fuel ratio in this calculation, but to be more accurate, we can take into account the air fuel ratio also. I have ignored it for calculating the turbine work and compressor work. And I have found what is the turbine work that is being supplied to the compressor and the net work output from that. Means turbine work minus turbine work applied to the compressor based on the mechanical efficiency. I have ignored the 1 plus F factor in calculation of turbine work. Okay. So fuel air ratio factor. So W net we are calculating like this, and heat input we are also calculating somewhat approximately without ignoring the effect of fuel. Okay. Fuel air ratio we are directly calculating, and the specific fuel consumption, which is fuel air ratio by specific work output we are calculating, and cycle efficiency also we are calculating. So if I now, this will give us only the value for a single point, like no graph, only one point for a particular set of design parameters. What are the design parameters? I will repeat again because this is very important. Compressor pressure ratio and turbine inlet temperature or the temperature ratio. Okay. So let us run this code. Okay, so these are the values. I am not plotting anything here, but you can see from the workspace what are the values. We can also try to plot here. Okay, so for example, specific work output W net is 136.6492. Okay, you can calculate, you can divide this by CPT1 to get the value of CPT01 to get the value of non-dimensional specific work output. Okay. Similarly, efficiency, overall efficiency is the efficiency of the cycle, N cycle or eta cycle. 34.19%. Okay. So all these were input parameters. Then efficiency of the cycle, we can see 34.19%. Pressure at the inlet is 1 bar, obviously. Pressure at the inlet of the turbine is 3.8 bar, not 4 bar because of pressure losses. Although the compressor pressure ratio was 4, then the pressure at the outlet of the turbine is not 1 atmospheric pressure plus 1.04 atmospheric pressure. Heat input is 391.6762 kilojoule per kg. Okay. Specific fuel consumption is given like this 6.7860 10 to the minus. So you can do end calculation and compare the results. T is the temperature ratio, which is 3.8194 in this case, and all the temperatures. So inlet compressor temperature is 288, compressor outlet temperature is 452 Kelvin, turbine inlet temperature is 1100 Kelvin, turbine outlet temperature is 835.35 Kelvin. T05 is the regenerator outlet temperature, which is 758 Kelvin on the regenerator side. This is calculated from regenerator effectiveness. Okay, and all the work output is given. So if I repeat this calculation, okay, is there any questions up to this? This is very easy, like step by step process and calculation we are doing. Any questions is there? So you should be able to do this type of calculations. We can also try to understand the effect of any of the parameter. If I change, say, compressor efficiency from 85% to 90%, I can find out how the efficiency changes. Okay. So for example, here the efficiency is 34.19. If I make the compressor as efficient, no losses are occurring. If I run the cases again, cycle efficiency is 39.89. Okay, so from 34% it has increased to almost 40%. Okay, so isentropic efficiency of compressor and isentropic efficiency of turbine plays a huge role. Okay, they play a huge role. These are the most important parameters. Okay, similarly for turbine also we can see. So if both would have been 1, remember these values, we will, because we want to again go back to these values. Our efficiency is 46.8%. So because of only these two changes, from 46% we have reduced to 34% efficiency. Okay. Other efficiencies play smaller parts. The pressure losses also play some part. Okay. But these are the two most important factors. Okay. So let us take a look at how the pressure ratio, what is the effect of pressure ratio? If there was no pressure ratio, what will happen? So pressure, all the pressure ratios are zero. Okay.
Excuse me, sir. What did you change before? Is this compression efficiency?
I just changed the efficiency of the compressor and the turbine. Means what is the compressor efficiency? Now you can see if there is no lag, you will be able to see 85%
0.85.
isentropic efficiency.
Yeah.
Yes, and the turbine efficiency. Oh, sorry, it should be 87%. Okay, turbine efficiency should be 87%. These are standard values that I have taken from the book. Okay, book by Cohen Rogers. There is a problem in Cohen Rogers where you can see the problem also. You must have seen it before the exam if you have studied the book. There is a solved problem. I have taken these values from the solved problem for the industrial gas turbine. For design point calculation, there was a solved problem. Okay. So all these values correspond to that to those that are given there. So results will be similar, exactly same as that given in the book. Okay. So now with this. So actually, we had 34% efficiency with pressure losses. Now we want to see if there are no pressure losses, what would have been the efficiency? I have changed all the pressure losses to 0. Okay. So efficiency has increased to 37%. Okay, 3%. 3% means overall 3% rise is there. So there is an effect of the pressure loss. Why this here of the why this effect of pressure loss comes into picture? Can anyone say? How the pressure loss reduces the efficiency?
Like turbine will have lower pressure.
Yes,
Output power ratio.
correct. Turbine pressure ratio will be decreased. Okay, from both sides. Means the inlet turbine pressure ratio is decreased and the outlet pressure inlet turbine pressure is decreased and the outlet turbine pressure is increased.
And that's
So
why,
turbine
sir,
pressure ratio is decreased.
temperature in also, sir, plays a role also.
No, temperature will not change. Remember, we are designing the cycle still with maximum temperature of
Yes.
1100 Kelvin.
Uh,
So although the turbine pressure is decreased, the calculation is done in such a way so that your graphs are different. You can go for a longer line so that you reach till 1100 Kelvin. Means inlet
Yes.
temperature we are keeping fixed. It is not getting reduced. Okay, you are drawing a longer line just to reach that point. Okay, you are drawing a longer line just to reach that point. So for example, what is happening here is that I am not giving you a break because I will finish or maybe I thought that I will finish very quickly, but it seems that I am going very slowly. Maybe, but still, I will not give you a break. I think we will finish in 10-20 minutes today's class. So maybe it may take longer. So for example,
but sir, turbine outlet temperature will change, no, sir?
turbine outlet temperature will correct. Turbine outlet temperature will change. What will happen to turbine outlet temperature? Will it increase or decrease?
It will increase.
Yes.
And for this, maybe our turbine work output will reduce.
That is true. But so both the effect comes into picture. So this is the real cycle, right? And your maximum temperature is fixed. So if there is pressure loss that is occurring, I'm not putting the regenerator, just say combustion pressure loss is there. You are not following the constant pressure line, right? You are deviating from the constant pressure line. So you are going like this. Okay, you are going like. So what is happening? Maximum temperature is still same, but the pressure has decreased. This pressure is lower than this pressure. This was the constant pressure line, the black line. Okay, and the constant pressure line at this point is something like this. So pressure has actually decreased. Okay, so that's why the work output from the turbine actually decreases. So we can see all these things. If you just write a code, we can see the relative effect. Main idea is to see the relative effect. That efficiency of turbine and compressor is so important. Pressure losses are also important, but not as much, right? Not as much important. This regenerator effectiveness also plays an important role. Okay, regenerator effectiveness also plays a very important. Say if the regenerator effectiveness was 1, efficiency would have been 44%. Okay, what was the effectiveness? 0.8, right? Now it is 34%. So regenerator effectiveness plays a very important role, because if you have low regenerator effectiveness, what happens? You need much more amount of heat input in the combustion chamber. If you have very high regenerator effectiveness, the outlet temperature from regenerator is very high. So your heat input in the combustion chamber is reduced, but the work output is still same. So once you reduce the heat input, your efficiency drastically improves. Okay. So these are some of. So now let us run this again, but by varying this value of R and T. Okay, run this again by varying the value of R and T. Can I keep this side by side? View side by side. This is important, right? This is not so important. I hope you can still see the MATLAB window.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will just quickly verify that the values are same. R instead of 4, now I am varying R from 1 to 30 in steps of 0.1. Okay. So each point is a design point calculation. Now we are repeating this design point calculation 300 times. Okay. So 300 separate calculations. That's why you need programming. Otherwise, you have to manually do. Gamma is same, eta C 0.85, eta T 0.87, eta M 0.99, eta B 0.98, gamma of gas 1.33, Cp of air 1.005, Cp of gas 1.148, T01 P011, delta P regenerator A, R into P0 0.03, 0.04, 0.02, 0.8, 43,100. Temperature ratio, I am not taking a fixed inlet temperature. Now I will vary the temperature ratio from 2 to 5 in steps of 1, like 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, because this is another design parameter. So our design parameters are pressure ratio of the compressor and temperature ratio, similar to ideal cycles. Okay. And now we will run the calculation. Before running the calculation, one thing I wanted to discuss also. Discuss means we are curious to know. Okay. What will happen if I change the ambient condition in the previous design point calculation? So 288 means 15 degrees centigrade. Say if you are flying in hot air, it is 313 temperature. How will it affect the efficiency, keeping everything else constant?
Decrease.
It will decrease. Okay. Should decrease. So we have changed that. Let us see whether it actually decreases or not. Where is it? 313. So 34.19. So in this case, it seems that it is not changing efficiency. I was expecting that what happened to the work output? Work output definitely should decrease. 148.511. Oh, we have not calculated including the effect of fuel and other things. So small effects also are important. No, work output is actually increasing. Okay, efficiency decreases, work output increases. So these are some of the things that we also need to think about. How these things come into picture, how this affects. Okay, so you have to check why this is happening. You have to think. Some of the approximations we have taken that may also play a part in the efficiency calculation. supposed to decrease. Okay, typically, if we do all the more general calculation, ambient condition increase means you are shifting towards the righter side of the TS diagram. So your compressor, whatever is the effect of compressor, is exaggerated. Okay, so if there are compressor inefficiencies, that is exaggerated, and losses should be higher for the compressor. So maybe without the regenerator, it will, you will see. Okay, without the regenerator, what happens? So let us run this case with again, let me check all the values are same, correct? Okay. Two separate programs are there, one for the work and one for the efficiency. I think it is correct. Let us run this case. Let us go from 100, 0 to 100, 1 to 100. Just we want to see what happens. Okay, we cannot analyze all these complex interactions, but overall summary we will see. So this is the efficiency of the simple cycle without any losses. This is the standard curve we know. Okay, efficiency keeps on increasing with R, and it is not dependent on any other factor. It is only a function of R, pressure ratio, okay, without any losses. Now for real cycles, the efficiency will become a function of R as well as T, even for the simple Brayton cycle. Okay. This is the efficiency for T equal to 2. Only this part, the other part is spurious. Okay, ignore the extra part. Only the small part. This is with T equal to 3. Only this part. Okay, the other part is spurious. T equal to 4 and T equal to 5. Okay. So what happens? What we see here is that the efficiency, there are two things that we see. One is that the efficiency is a function of T, temperature ratio. Why it is a function of T? Because now, because the compressor losses are there, so depending on the extent of compressor losses, the everything changes. Basically, how much amount of heat is input in the combustion chamber, all these things actually change. So ultimately, the effect of T also comes into the picture. Okay, and with increasing T, you get more efficiency. Second thing is that with increasing R, you get higher efficiency only up to a certain point, and then it starts decreasing. Okay, unlike the simple cycle without losses, means unlike the ideal cycle, in the real simple cycle, there is an optimum value of compressor pressure ratio at which you get maximum efficiency. For example, for T equal to 3, this is the optimum value, something below, just below 10. For T equal to 4, the optimum value is something below just, not like, yeah, RC equal to 10, so RC equal to 20, something below RC equal to 20. Then for T equal to 5, it is, it's a very flat curve, so somewhere maybe between 20 and 30, or it's not very easy to see, maybe around 30. Okay, so this for higher temperatures, these curves are also very flat. Okay, so it's not that we have to be at a particular optimum point. Even if we shift from the optimum point in any direction by a small amount, then also there is not much big problem. Okay, in the efficiency. Okay, so these points I have summarized in the note, but there can be hundreds of points like this. Okay, you can have to draw your own conclusion. I don't expect that you will memorize all these points. Okay, but some of the basic things you should be able to relate, means try to understand and relate by writing programs like this. So what we have seen is that, I will come back to the other cases, but what we have seen is that eta becomes a function of T and RC instead of just RC. Okay, in real life. Just consider these graphs, oval shape, these long lines and others are spurious results, which could have been removed, but I did not waste too much time in removing them. Okay. Peak eta value occurs at a particular RC. There is an optimum value of eta at which the peak, optimum value of RC at which this peak eta occurs. Okay. Let us see the effect on specific work output. Then we will come to the regeneration cycle. So, for the specific work output, gas turbine real cycle.
Sir, excuse me.
Yes, please.
Sir, like, why would you compare regeneration cycle with different values of T with a fixed value of T of simple Britten cycle? Why don't you change the T value for simple Britten cycle
No,
also?
no. I am not comparing the regeneration cycle at all. This is a fixed, this is not a fixed. So we are just, till now we have not considered regeneration cycle. Okay, this plots. Although here the regeneration cycle is there, I have not yet plotted the regeneration cycle results. Okay, what I have here, the black line. The black line is what? Black line is the ideal simple cycle. No regeneration,
Simple.
nothing. Okay. Simple Brayton cycle, correct? We know what happens in the simple Brayton cycle. How is the efficiency? What is the efficiency? Do you remember? 1 minus 1 by r to the power gamma minus 1 by gamma, correct? So in the simple Brayton
Yes.
cycle, if r increases, what happens to the efficiency? It will keep on increasing. If r becomes infinite, what will be the efficiency in simple Brayton cycle? Ideal case. If r is infinity,
100%.
1, correct? And if r is 1, efficiency is 0. So it's just a graph like this which goes on slowly increasing, and asymptotically it will go to 1 at the value of r equal to infinity. Now what I am saying is that for the same simple Brayton cycle, not regeneration, only simple Brayton cycle itself, but with losses, with pressure loss, with isentropic losses in the compressor and turbine, with all the losses considered, now I am again plotting the value. Okay. So say you
that
change the
depends on
value of,
T.
yes. So say you had
Yeah,
changed the value of T for the simple Brayton cycle, still you would have got same thing. But now it
Sir, your voice is not audible.
my voice is audible now. Is my voice audible now?
Yes, sir.
Audible? Okay. So what I am saying is that the simple Brayton cycle itself, but with all these inefficiencies, all these losses, what we have seen here, These are our design point calculations. We have done the design point calculation by keeping, say, constant T equal to 5, temperature ratio 5, but changing the value of R from 0 to
200.
100. Okay, this is showing 30, but actually we have done for 100. So in doing this, we get this blue line. Okay, we get this blue line. Similarly, if I change the value of T from 5 to 4 temperature ratio and again change the value of R from 1 to 100, I get this lower blue line, okay, less thicker line. Similarly, if T is equal to 3, I get this line, okay. These are all simple Brayton cycle, but now the efficiency has become a function of temperature ratio, okay. That is a big difference as compared to ideal cycle. That is what I am noting in the notes, okay. That is what is noted in the notes, that eta becomes a function of T and RC as compared to ideal cycles, while it was just a function of RC. Okay, you can write as compared to ideal cycle, while it was just a function of RC, not a function of T. And second interesting thing to note here is that the peak eta value occurs at a particular RC. It does not occur at infinity. If there is a particular RC at which peak occurs, then it will keeps on reducing. Can anyone say why is this reason? What is the reason for this? Like intuitively, can you think what can be a possible reason for this? What will happen at very high RC? What will happen to the compressor outlet?
Area
Combustion
area
heat input will
becomes
not,
0.
heat input will not there less.
Heat input is less, but that should be good because efficiency should have increased.
But if heat input is less, we can't
But work
expect
output becomes 0.
work.
Around.
So net work output will be very, very less.
That is true. Network. Why it is less? See what happens at why it is. My question, I think it is not very clear. My question is that why it is happening for this case but not happening for ideal cycle. Ideal cycle also, if compressor pressure ratio increases, same thing should have happened. But why it is happening in this case and not for ideal cycle? Ideal cycle also, what you are saying, that heat input is lower, same thing will happen if compressor pressure ratio is increased. Okay. The thing is that what happens, the compression process becomes longer. Yes, yes. Why will the losses increase? Because the compression process is longer, right? Compression process is very long. So because compressor has a very low efficiency, like 85%, the losses also increase drastically, which was not present in the ideal cycle. Okay. So if you keep on increasing the compressor pressure ratio, keeping everything else fixed, like the turbine inlet temperature is fixed, the losses will keep on increasing drastically at higher compression ratio, and that actually lowers the overall cycle efficiency. But for the ideal cycle, although what you are saying is true, that the heat input is reduced, but the losses are not increasing, right? So the efficiency still keeps on increasing. So you have to think in this way somewhat. Okay. It drops the internet connection. Once the phone, any phone is coming, internet connection is getting dropped. Can you hear me now? I will block this SIM. I have two SIMs. Once it comes on the other SIM, this internet connection from the other SIM is getting dropped. I will block the other SIM. Okay. Now I think it will be better. No phone, no phone. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So now you might get confused with all these things, means so many graphs that I am going to show. You don't have to remember or memorize these graphs, okay? It is just for trying to develop some intuition I am showing. What I suggest is that, or even if I can give one another assignment, that you try to draw some graphs like this for other cases and try to understand what is happening. Just to satisfy your curiosity, okay, if I change the compression efficiency, what happens? Okay, so what will happen to the curves if we change the compression efficiency, if we change the turbine efficiency? Okay, so we will see all these things also. So what happens to the work output? Work output actually is slightly reduced but follows the same pattern. Okay, we will draw the work output, but let me change the figure number. Otherwise, is there any figure number I have given? Not given, huh? Somewhere plot. Yes. Let us see. These are the plots for the work output, not non-dimensional work output, just the specific work output. You can non-dimensionalize by CPT1. Okay. And this is assuming, this is not the ideal ones. These are lower than the ideal ones. This is assuming that real Brayton cycle, means simple Brayton cycle, but with the losses. Okay. Simple real Brayton cycle, not the ideal Brayton cycle. Ideal one should have been there. Is it? Oh, we have not plotted it. Okay. Now I don't want to waste time plotting. You can plot, but the actually work output is reduced as compared to, but the nature of the curve is same. If you compare to the ideal Brayton cycle, if you remember, there was an optimum point, means the work output increased and then it decreased and it went to zero at certain point. At what condition the work output goes to zero?
T2 is equal to T3.
Correct. T2 is equal to T3. Compressor outlet temperature is equal to turbine inlet temperature. Okay. So same thing is there. And if I compare these two plots, we see that there is optimum point for efficiency in terms of RC and optimum point for work output in terms of RC. But the optimum values are different. See, for example, I will compare the optimum values for T equal to 5, this black line. Work output, what is the optimum value? It is somewhere around
RC optimum.
Let us insert some grid lines. Okay, so it is just after 10, RC equal to 10, the maximum work output occurs. Maximum efficiency occurs somewhere around 30. Okay, so it's a different value. Typically, the maximum efficiency will occur at a higher value of RC as compared to the maximum work output. Okay, so what is done in standard cases is that you take a lower value of RC. Okay, this has two things. One is that if you take say 30, you will get significantly less work output. If you take a lower value somewhere around here, efficiency curves are generally flat for the high temperature cases. Efficiency curves are generally flat, so there won't be much loss in efficiency. Okay, and second thing is that from practical point of view, so if you take lower value of RC, efficiency is somewhat slightly reduced, not much reduced. You get work output, large work output. This has, what is the benefit of having large specific work output? I am going through a lot of practical points today. What is the benefit of having large specific work output?
Our intention
Smaller-
is only that
Smaller turbine.
Smaller turbine, smaller system, which is very important in many cases, particularly if similar curves are there for jet engines. then weight and size becomes so much important factor, right? So smaller sizes are very important. Good. So it reduces the turbine size for a given power output. Power output is fixed by other considerations. So you know what is the size of the plane and or what is the power requirement and how many turbines will be there. So required power output is fixed. So by increasing the specific work output, you reduce the size. Okay. So by taking a smaller pressure ratio, somewhere near the optimum work output, we can reduce the size because specific work output is high without much sacrifice of efficiency, and somewhere in between these 2 points also you can take. Okay, between these 2 points, because the curves are more or less flat. Okay. So this also again is summarized in the notes I have uploaded here already. So peak specific work output reaches at a different value of RC, which is lower than that for maximum eta. Curves are flat near the peak. Any pressure ratio between the two optimum values can be used without much loss of efficiency. Okay. Typically, lowest acceptable pressure ratio is chosen. Lowest acceptable pressure ratio is chosen from practical point of view, because while it reduces the number of compressor and turbine stages, because lower pressure ratio means lower compression required. You are getting anyway higher efficiency and high, like moderately high efficiency and very high work output. Also, other practical things are there. One point I have noted here is that it avoids excessively small blades at the high pressure end of the compressor. Means toward the last stages of the compressor, you have very high pressure, so the density is very high, specific volume is very low, so the cross sectional area has to reduce for the blades. Okay, means the annular region, because the flow rate remains constant. So the blades have very small length. Okay, we will study about compressors later in this course, so then you will understand. But the blade length becomes very small. So if the blade lengths are small, the edge effects come into picture. Say the end effects, the effects near the end of the blade, that actually that is not that is detrimental. That comes into picture. So we should avoid excessively small blades. Okay. So typically lowest pressure ratios are chosen so that these things are means the excessively small blades are avoided. Okay. What are some other points we have seen from the graph? Work output and eta increases with higher turbine inlet temperature, means with higher T, both the work output and efficiency increases. Clearly we have seen for both the graphs. Okay, this graph also and this graph also, we have seen that increasing T has a drastic effect on both the cases. Higher value of TA, which we could not see for some reason, but for higher value of TA, efficiency and specific work output should be slightly reduced. Okay, I think we have done an approximate calculation, that is why it is not coming. We have to check why it is not coming into picture, but with higher value of TA, efficiency and specific work output should be slightly reduced. Okay, so this is our summary of simple Brayton cycle. Okay, so let us try to look at the regeneration cycle. And the other two I will just keep as exercise for you guys. Okay, other two are not also important. Again, same thing I will run. So first, again, I will. So let me just close this, and then we will end our class. Oh, I've run the wrong one. This one I have to run. So this is just the simple cycle again, because it is the same code. Okay. Now this is the ideal regeneration cycle. If you remember the ideal regeneration cycle, the red lines are the ideal regeneration cycle. Okay. I hope you remember, because just now you have given the exam. What was happening in the ideal regeneration cycle? The maximum value was at R equal to 1. Okay, which is not feasible because work output is 0. But the efficiency was maximum at that point. Okay, R equal to 1. And contrary to the simple Brayton cycle, the efficiency kept on decreasing with increasing R. Okay, efficiency kept on decreasing with increasing value of R. What was the reason for this? Efficiency, why was efficiency decreasing with increasing R?
Our efficiency equation was like that.
No,
Like
physically
scope
try
for
to understand.
regeneration.
Sorry, again, please repeat.
Scope of regeneration.
Scope of regeneration is correct. Scope of regeneration is reduced. If you keep on increasing the R, compressor outlet temperature keeps on increasing, right? And the difference, how the regeneration happens, because of temperature difference between the exhaust gas.
Temperature difference from the heat
Yes.
exchanger.
Yes, temperature difference between the exhaust gas and the compressor outlet temperature. So if the temperature difference is large, there is more scope of regeneration and more efficiency. If you keep on increasing R, the temperature difference becomes smaller and smaller, and ultimately it becomes lower than the means the opposite happens. Regeneration causes negative effect. Means the compressor outlet temperature becomes more than the turbine outlet temperature, and heat flow occurs in the opposite direction. So efficiency becomes much lower. Okay, so this was the case. So T equal to 2, thin red line, T equal to 3, slightly thicker red line, more thicker red line, T equal to 4, and the thickest red line is T equal to 5. Okay, this is the ideal case. Now let us look at the real case. I will explain again. I have drawn already the lines. Okay. So the lines will not be very clear. Let me show the T equal to 5 line, which is much easier to follow. The topmost blue dotted line, which has a sharp peak. Okay, not the flat lines. Maybe I will change the color. I think it is better to change the color. I think that way it is better. I don't know why I put this thing. I mean, I have hurriedly drawn it. So this is ideal, and this is the real. Green lines are the real cycle. Okay, T is equal to 5. T is equal to 5 is this line. T equal to 4. T equal to 3, and T equal to 2. Okay. So what we see here, one is that the peak efficiency is higher, except for this T equal to 2 case, where because of very low temperature ratio, the scope of regeneration is very small, and the regenerative effectiveness also plays a part. So for normal cases with normal values of T, the maximum efficiency increases as compared to simple Brayton cycle. The nature of curves is drastically different as compared to ideal regeneration cycle. Now the efficiency goes to 0 at R is equal to 1, unlike the ideal cycle. Why this is happening? When will the efficiency go to 0? When the compressor work input is equal to the turbine work output. Means whatever work output is generated by the turbine is exactly equal to the work input required for the compressor. When this happens, net work output will be 0 and efficiency will be 0, right? So previously for ideal cycles, this was happening when the heat input was also 0. It was like a 0 by 0 case. Okay. But asymptotically, we could find out that for the, or not asymptotically, so for the limit, we could find out that the efficiency is not 0, efficiency is some value, like 1 minus some value. So it was quite high value. Okay. In this case, what is happening? This compressor work input becomes equal to the turbine work output at some value where still we have some heat input. Okay, this is because of the losses. So still there is heat input, but the output, net work output, has become 0. So ultimately what we are getting is that efficiency becomes equal to 0. Okay, and then we quickly go to a peak value of efficiency, and then it gradually goes down. Okay, And again, the same observation that with increasing T, we will get higher efficiency. But see how drastically the effect of losses has played a part. Instead of getting 60-70% efficiency, now maximum we are getting somewhat slightly higher than 40 even at the optimum condition. Okay, so this is the role of losses in the regeneration cycle. Okay, so again let us go back to our summary. Eta versus pressure ratio curves are totally different from ideal regenerative cycle. Eta value is 0 at RC equal to 1, unlike the ideal cycle. The peak value of eta is higher than simple Brayton cycle and occurs at a lower RC. Okay, this is the second point. The peak value occurs at a lower optimum pressure ratio. Okay, which is good because we need lower post pressure ratio so that number of compressors and turbines are less. Okay, so peak value occurs at a lower pressure ratio. And specific work output, what happens to the specific work output? Specific work output does not change much. What do you expect happen with as compared to real simple cycle? For real regenerative cycle, will there be any change in what was the difference in the work output in the ideal Brayton cycle and ideal regenerative Brayton cycle?
No change, sir.
No change.
No change was there. In this case, will there be any change?
So like there will be regeneration pressure losses.
Yeah, regeneration
So,
losses.
Correct. Slight losses are there in the regenerator. So we expect that slight reduction in work will be there. Although nothing else is changing, this regenerator is decreasing the pressure and slight reduction in work will be there. Okay. And that is what we expect. Okay. Maybe the color here also we need to change. Okay. I think color is already changed. This is red. Okay. Let us run this. So these red lines are what? By taking the class, my health is improving, it seems. So I was supposed to take half an hour class, but now it has dragged for already 1.5 hours. I think I should take more extra classes. So red lines are the regeneration cycle, black lines are the simple cycle, both real cases, not ideal cases. You see that because of pressure losses, slight decrease in work output is happening, but the curve follows the same trend. There is an optimum peak value. Now the optimum peak value is actually slightly shifted towards the right side for the work. Means the efficiency, these peaks are still similar, but the efficiency peak has shifted towards the left of this. Okay, so maximum efficiency occurs at a lower RC value as compared to maximum work output. Okay, that also I have noted down. Specific work output slightly reduces due to pressure drop in the regenerator. Increase in regenerator effectiveness reduces the optimum value of RC. Okay, and eta is increased. Is it the case? Let us see. Increase in regenerator effectiveness reduces the optimum value of RC and eta is increased. Okay, efficiency should increase and optimum value of RC should be reduced. Okay, but how will we compare? Again, we have to plot. Okay, so you have to. I will not do it. Or we can note one value and we can check. Maybe we'll put some grid lines. Where is edit axis properties? Let us put some grid lines. Major grid lines, minor grid lines also let us put. I will put the minor grid lines. Supposed to be here only, right? Somewhere around here, peak value is occurring around 6. Okay, let us change. And efficiencies, maximum efficiency is 40 something percent. What we are going to change? Regenerator effectiveness. We are going to increase it to a very high value. Not in this curve. Unrealistic value. It cannot be 99%. Unrealistically high value. Yes. So this, ignore this line, spurious line. So efficiency has increased from 40 to something around 60%, and the peak value occurs much lower, RC around 3 or 4 instead of 6. Okay. So that is the point that is mentioned here. Increase in regenerator effectiveness reduces the optimum value of RC and eta is increased. Okay, so these are the main conclusion from our normal cycle and regeneration cycle. I have not drawn the curves for reheat cycle. Okay, you can try them on your own. So I will just summarize what is seen. So improves. So what we expect from reheat cycle, we also get. Reheat cycle should improve the specific work output. Okay. However, because reheating increases the pressure losses because another combustion chamber is there, efficiency is still lower. Okay, and there are practical problems with reheating. One practical problem is that additional combustion chamber and turbine. The other practical problem is that reheating shifts the line. If you remember in the TS diagram, reheating shifts the line towards the right hand side. It means that because the pressure is lower, means for the same temperature pressure is lower, the specific volume is high for the lowest pressure turbine stages. This leads to excessively large blades. Okay, because specific volume is large, for the same mass flow rate you need larger cross sectional area, annular cross sectional area. Again, we will study this during turbine, and the turbine blade length has to increase. Okay, what is the effect of increasing turbine blade length? What is the problem with longer blades, longer turbine blades?
Stress.
Stresses will be larger. Centrifugal stresses will be very large. Okay, it is not sustainable, and you cannot reduce the speed also to reduce the stress because all of them are mounted on the same shaft. So if all of them are mounted on the same shaft, all of them are rotating at the same angular speed, but because of longer length, the diameter is larger and the linear velocity at the tip of the blade is larger. Okay. Reheat cycles are not actually used much. Okay, although we have studied it in practical cases, it only makes sense to use reheat cycle if you combine with regeneration cycle, so that you get some good efficiency. Otherwise, reheat cycles are not used much in real life scenario. Okay, it is better to just go for a simple Brayton cycle with high or optimum value of RC instead of reheat cycle. Okay, same thing with intercooled cycle. Although the problems are slightly less for the turbine as compared to reheating, but the system is very bulky. Intercooler is a very large heat exchanger. Okay, it is a very large heat exchanger. On one side, you are bringing some cold water to cool the gases from one of the compressor. So because you are bringing cold water from outside, the self-contained nature of the gas turbine is also lost. Means you cannot use it for aircraft engines anyway. So even for land-based engines, you need some water supply, which will keep on cooling the gas air in the intercooler. Okay, so this is also not used much. So final conclusion is that, or finally what we can say is that, from practical applications point of view, in almost all cases, simple Brayton cycles are still preferred. After doing all this analysis, people have tried these things, but in most cases, simple Brayton cycles are still preferred with high value of, high means optimum value of pressure ratio. Okay, high means as compared to say regenerative or other type of cycle. With high RC, still simple cycles are used, and invariantly means 100% of the cases, simple Brayton cycles are used for jet engines to remove any of the extra things to reduce the weight. Okay, so no regenerator, no intercooler, no reheater for jet engines. For industrial gas turbines, in case simple Brayton cycles are not used, in those in a few cases, simple Brayton cycle with regeneration is used. Okay, with low value of RC. So when I say high value of RC for simple Brayton cycle, it means that as compared to regeneration cycle. So regeneration cycle with low value of RC is also used near the optimum region. So these are the two most practical applications. Okay. So regeneration cycle will increase the efficiency, but not as drastically because of the losses as we have seen. We'll stop here, and from the next class we will go into jet engines. So turbojet. We'll start with turbojet, and for studying turbojet, we also have to understand the mechanism of diffuser, thermodynamics of diffuser, that we will try to understand. Okay. So next lot of classes, lot means large number of classes will be on jet engines, and we may need to take some extra classes towards the end because many of the almost 70% is left, although we are going at a good pace. So we need to study about compressors, axial and centrifugal compressor. It won't take much time. Then turbines in some details we have to study. That will take some time. And combustion chamber we have to study, which will not take much time. Okay, combustion process, which is also very interesting and very important. So these are the three components we will study: compressor, combustion chamber, and turbine. And all this after studying the jet engines. So each of these jet engines we will separately study: turbojet, turbofan, turboprop, ramjet, and scramjet we won't study. Scramjet is similar to ramjet, but pulse jet engine. Okay. I will share these programs with you. You can try to run them and try to see the effect of different parameters. You can even make them more accurate by putting the effect of fuel air ratio, which I have ignored in this case. Okay. So I will share these programs with you. And this text is already shared in the TeamViewer. Any questions? Many of the things even I will not be able to explain what will happen if something changes, but we have to think from intuition. But so many factors are there that you cannot be sure, like how the combination works, what will happen. So simple things we can say, like for example, from the regenerator point of view, if the compressor pressure ratio increases, what will happen? But say if you change slightly some other parameter, how much is the extent of effect? That we cannot say directly. Okay. For example, if CPO of gas is 1.005 instead of 1.148, what will happen to the overall thing? We expect that the efficiency should be lower because less turbine work output will be there, but we have to check these things. Okay. What will happen if gamma changes? These things we have to check. A lot of things can be checked. Questions? I will take attendance. If you have questions, you can let me know.
Sir, you told in reheat because of low pressure we need larger turbine.
Yes.
So, but
Not
even in
low pressure. Yes.
even in normal single turbine, sir, like
Yes.
anyway it will go through that low pressure and complete.
Correct. My
Anyway,
point is not low pressure. I understood your point that pressure in both cases will be similar low pressure. Like towards the end stage, it will be atmospheric pressure, right? At the
Yes,
lowest
sir.
stage. So why
what
it is different? Yes. So what will happen is that although the pressure is same, both cases, the temperature is not same because of reheating. Okay. Means what has happened? Let me try to see what will happen. Okay, try to understand this.
So, sir, at lower pressure, we'll have the highest temperature, right?
Just a second. Temperature also is same. Yes. So temperature actually is not same. So what I wanted to say is that if you have simple cycle, means without reheat, for the same outlet pressure, this is the outlet pressure line, atmospheric pressure. Okay, constant pressure line. The temperature would have been this temperature. Can you see the drawing I am trying to make?
Yes, sir.
this will be the new outlet temperature at the same pressure, atmospheric pressure, but the outlet temperature will increase because of reheat. Okay, pressure you cannot control. It is the pressure, back pressure means the outlet pressure outside the exhaust nozzle. So that is equal to atmospheric pressure, but the temperature will increase because of the reheat. So what will be the density here as compared to for simple cycle? What will be the density of the reheat cycle? Because temperature is increased, density will be lower, means specific volume will be higher, and the turbine length, blade length will be higher. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir. So density is a stronger function of pressure or temperature for this. Like,
It's a function of both, because it's ideal gas law you are using, right? It is not steam. So
Okay.
PV is equal to. So if pressure is same, density is P by rho is equal to RT. So 1 by rho is proportional to T, or rho is proportional to 1 by T. So rho, if T increases, rho decreases. Rho decrease means specific volume increases, right? Ideal gas law. Almost ideal gas law. These cases follow almost ideal gas law. Okay. Not much variation is there. Is it clear now?
yes, sir.
Is it Sanjay who is asking the question?
Sanjay, sir. Yeah.
Good question. But yes, that is the thing. There are other issues also. So you can go through Cohen-Rogers' book. In this part is very nicely explained, but without any means it is explained. So what I am going to do is I am going to stop the recording now.